And now, it's time for another Dice Tower review with Ryan Metzler.
Hey everyone, it's Ryan Metzler here yet again, and today we're going to be taking a look at a dice rolling and management type of game, or a push your luck type of game. We're going to take a look at Fistful of Penguins by Wattsalpoag Games. In this game, players are going to roll dice with animals on them and try and make sets of animals that will get them the most money by combining different animals or getting the most of certain types of animals, whatever the case may be. So real quick, why don't we take a look at what you get inside this box and how the game plays, and then we'll come back here and we'll get my opinion of a Fistful of Penguins. Here you can see the components for Fistful of Penguins, and as you might be able to tell from the dice I have on the table, this is a die-rolling game, in which players are going to be trying to roll dice in order to get money, and whoever has the most money at the end of the game is going to win. The game is played over a series of 3 rounds, rolling the dice, trying to get different combinations of animals on your dice in order to score the most money, and you're going to do that using penguins, and you're going to have money for chips, or chips for money, and you're going to have some special tokens here. Now, basically, what you're going to do is at the beginning of the game, each player is going to roll 4 dice on their turn. They're going to roll these dice, and they're going to try and create groups of animals. And each type of animal scores in a different way. And that is all outlined on this card here. Each player has one of these. So you can see here, penguins are going to get you more penguins. And each player is going to start with some of these little penguins, these nice purple acrylic penguins that I really like quite a bit. There's some gold ones as well to show more penguins. But essentially, you can turn these penguins in order to re-roll dice. But if you get penguins on your dice, you can trade in your penguins after a roll in order to get more of these little acrylic penguins that let you re-roll your dice. And if you have 1 penguin, it gets you 1, but 2 penguins will get you 3, and 3 penguins will get you 6 new acrylic penguins for re-rolling dice. These squirrels are going to let you steal money from your opponents. And so, essentially, you're going to roll your dice, and you're either going to do one of 3 things. Either you are going to trade in your current penguins in order to get more acrylic penguins, so these would be worth 3 penguins, or you can spend your penguins that you already have to either add more dice, so you can get another die and roll it and add it to your total by spending 1 penguin, or you can spend a penguin to re-roll any amount of dice that you want. So I could spend a penguin, and if I didn't want to trade in my penguins, I could re-roll these penguin dice in order to try and get different animals. Your third option is to simply stop rolling and get the money for the animals you currently have. And as I said, animals are going to give you different amounts of money dependent on what animals you have and how many you have of each. So in this case, with squirrels, if I have 1 squirrel, I'm going to get $1 from the player to my left. 2 squirrels, when I decide to stop rolling, will get me $1 from the player to my left and $2 from the player to their left. So it kind of escalates. And 3 will continue on, $3 from the third person, 4 going all the way back around and hitting the first person again for more money and getting me $10 total. Kangaroos are going to score me points based on how many kangaroos I have. So in this case, 1 kangaroo would be $1, 2 kangaroos is $2 per kangaroo, and 3 kangaroos would be 3 per kangaroo, getting you to $9. In addition, if you score kangaroos, you get a kangaroo chip, which you can use in the next round to automatically turn one of your dice into a kangaroo. So that kind of gives you a reason to go after kangaroos. Lions here are going to either be worth $0, so if you roll a lion, it's either worth $0, or if you choose to only score lions and penguins, meaning you get penguin tokens, and you only score lions that you've rolled, they're worth $7 per lion, but nothing else is worth any money. Camels only score if there are no lions, and they're worth $5 per camel, or $0 if you score your lions. And moose, or mooses, but moose, are only worth points if you match them up with a squirrel. So you must have moose and squirrel in order to get points. But for each moose-squirrel combo you get, you're going to get 9 points for the moose, and the dollars for having squirrels stealing from your opponents. So you're going to roll until you're satisfied with what you have, or you no longer have any penguins to trade in dice or get more dice, adding dice in by paying more penguins, until you finish, and you're going to get money. So in this case, I would look at, let's say I had this roll. I could either take 14 money from my 2 lions and score nothing else here, or I could get $1 from the player to my left for the squirrel, and I could get 9 points for matching the moose and the squirrel, giving me $10. I would probably take the 2 lions for the $14 and leave the other points behind. Each player would have a chance to do all of this, getting their money, which is in the form of these chips. We have 5 chips, 1 chips, and 10 chips in order to keep track of this, until you've gone through one whole round. Everybody's had a chance to do this. On the second round, you're going to roll 5 dice starting out, and on the third round, you will roll 6 dice starting out in order to try and get bigger and bigger amounts of money. Now, there is an advanced variant where each player at the beginning of the game has one of these penguin chips. And on everyone's turn, you're going to take a die, and you're going to roll it, you're going to hide it, and you're going to put your penguin chip with this die. And you can actually use the 2-side as well, but essentially, there are 2 sides. Here we go. A 2-side chip. But you're going to hide your die, you're going to place a money value with it. So essentially, I could say, well, this die is worth $6. I would hide my die, I would price my die out, and I would show it later. And so essentially this means that somebody could pay me $6 to buy my lion die from me. Well, that might be a little overvalued, so maybe I made it worth, $3, because this lion is worth 7 points if they decide to go for lions. And they could buy this die from me for $3, which is kind of a way to have an interaction going where players can earn money from other players for selling their die for the right amount of money. And it really depends on what your opponent is going for. But either way, you're going to play 3 rounds, getting 4, 5, and 6 dice per round, buying more dice with your acrylic penguins, re-rolling your dice with your acrylic penguins until you've gone through 3 rounds. And at the end of those 3 rounds, whoever has the most money, by most appropriately keeping their dice and scoring properly and getting a little bit of luck in there, is going to be the winner. So there you have a fistful of penguins. Now this is kind of a Yahtzee style game, or even a Martian dice, zombie dice style of game, with a little bit more complexity, a little bit more strategy, in that you can choose what to keep, what to get rid of, and there are different strategies to go about earning points where you can maximize points or maximize stealing from other opponents. So it's not quite to the level of simplicity of zombie dice, for example, but it's on that level or a little bit above that level. Not a bad game by any stretch of the imagination, a dice rolling game that can be enjoyable, one that I think I would sit down and play very infrequently in my own collection, but one that would probably fit very well in a collection for a family who plays games often together, or for a lighter gamer who enjoys dice rolling games. So if that sounds interesting to you, check it out. That's A Fistful of Penguins from Wattsalpoag Games.
Thanks for watching our review today. For more information about board games, as well as the #1 board game audio podcast, check out Dicetower.com for reviews, interviews, and more. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower.